What's up, everybody? I'm CP Rides. Today we're going to be doing a review, long-term review of my bike. So it's a 2015 Aprilia Caponord 1200. It's ABS travel pack, so it does have bags and things that go on it. I'm kind of making this assuming you guys know the basics. Overall, bike's 125 horsepower, about 106 on a dyno. It's good and fun. I would say they sell this bike to try to fit in that adventure market, but it is not adventure at all in the slightest. Obviously, ground clearance isn't enough. Tires are too small. Don't have spoked rims. You really wouldn't want to take this more than like a light dirt road at best. But I wouldn't call it a touring bike either. So I think this, and along with the new Ducati Multistrada 1200, have kind of taken over as the, I guess, sports touring side of bikes. So that new niche of sport touring kind of used to be the BMW K bikes. Now it's this. So what we're going to do is take it for a quick drive. We'll talk about it long term, kind of how it's been for me. I've got almost 9,000 miles on it now. So I have had a few problems and a few quirks. And I've noticed a thing or two about the bike. Would I recommend it to another person? Absolutely, and we will talk about that right now. Go ahead and start it up and get a little sound clip too. So this is just stock exhaust. I've done nothing to it. I do have what's called a heel tech device on order, which will eliminate this little valve. There's this little exhaust valve down there. You can't really see it too well, but basically it'll allow me to disconnect that and keep it in full open. Maybe get a little more sound out of my pipes, but here we go. Let's get a little sound clip. All right. With that, let's go. As you can see, this is a bike you can have some fun with. Over 9,000 miles, I've learned that it embodies a very, very fun motorcycle. You know, there are certain limitations. You're not going to be able to, if I go out riding with my buddies who ride super sports, I got a buddy that rides an R1, you know, I'm not going to be able to keep with him in the corners. You're just not, you know, the ground clearance isn't enough. You end up dragging. It's a big heavy bike. You really can't ride it like it's a super sport. But that being said, you can still have some fun on this bike. It's plenty fast enough to have a good time on, and I really, really enjoy it. So let's talk about the problems I've had. So in 9,000 miles, the first problem you're going to run into is the tires. My God, the tires they put on this bike are awful. So the stock tires that it comes with they're 180 over 55 Dunlop Qualifier 2s, and they're just not. So if you're selling a bike and they sell this bike, right, as like a long distance kind of bike or a tourer, right? If you're selling a bike as a long distance tourer, why would you put a tire on it that's not meant to go long distance? I think I got better part of maybe I want to say right around 5,000 miles actually. It's about what I got out of the tires before I had to replace them. And that was like, I had a wear bar showing through. Like, they had to go. So one of the first things I would recommend doing to this bike is upgrading the tires. I prefer the Pirelli Angel GTs. That's what I have on here now. I stuck with 180 over 55 for the size. I have been reading in forums and other places that you can put a 190 on it and it actually increased the ground clearance some. So we're going to try that next time we need tires. But the Pirelli Angel GT is a pretty long life tire, so that'll be a while. But if we could increase the ground clearance, I do find myself dragging the pegs somewhat. It's not very often that I do it. I mean, I ride somewhat aggressively, pretty aggressive rider. I'm not, let's put it this way, I'm not that confident in the turns yet. And I've been riding for a long time, but I've had an accident, and ever since then, I just really find myself struggling to really push the bike to its maximum capability. You know, because I know that this bike could lean farther than it does sometimes, but I really just don't see the point. I've kind of slowed down in my riding a bit. You know, when I get in the twisties and stuff, I'll go fast enough to have fun, but I'm not trying to be, you know, street Rossi out here. But as far as the bike and the capabilities of the twisties, the suspension's a little soft. To me, Aprilia dynamic damping, it's okay. I leave it actually on the 2-rider mode, or the rider with passenger mode, mostly because I'm 6'6" and almost 300 pounds. So for me, that's the optimum, you know, setting. I want it to be a little stiffer, but not too much. So yeah, back to more problems. The other problem I noticed with this bike is that I had roughly at about my 8,400 mile mark, I would say, somewhere in there, I went out to start it one morning and the bike would turn over. I'd hit the ignition and you just get like a click, click, click from near the battery, and I couldn't figure out what it was. But basically the bike wouldn't even turn over. That day I disconnected the battery, reconnected it, the bike started just fine. So I didn't think anything of it. And then a few weeks later it did it again. Only this time, disconnecting the battery, resetting the fuses, didn't do anything. Checked all the fuses with a multimeter, that didn't fix the problem. So what I ended up having to do is bump start the bike, or whatever term you guys use for it, running start, push start, whatever, dump the clutch in second gear and get it to start. And that's how I got it home that day. And then when that happened, it also messed up the dash light. Weirdly enough, the backlighting for the dash went out, which is the weirdest, strangest thing to me. But overall, other than those things, the bike's been very solid. I haven't done anything except regular maintenance and oil changes. You know, it turned out with the starting thing, it was just a bad starter. The starter went bad, and the yeah, it's just, so it was just a simple fix. Warranty covered it. It's one of the best things about Aprilia. If you're looking into an Aprilia motorcycle, the warranty is 2 years on most of their bikes. So I haven't found any other brands that beat that. I know Ducati is only 6 months, and good lord, but the amount of problems you'll have with a Ducati, it seems like. I've owned a Ducati, and I've known other people who've owned Ducatis, and they are great when they're working, but when they're not, man, look out. They get expensive fast. So that 2-year warranty is a good benefit to this bike. Long-term review, I really like the bike. Would I say it competes with the Ducati Multistrada? No. It's not as fast, it's not quite as sharp in the turns, it's not, you know. But would I say it competes with a BMW GS? No, because the BMW GS is more off-road focused. This thing, I would really rarely ever want to take it in the dirt. I feel like that'd just be a bad idea. So then what does it compete with? I think the direct competition for this bike is more like your BMW K bikes, like K1300s or things like that. The sport touring brand bikes. I think this is the new era of sport touring, is going to be bikes like this that are more upright, able to carry luggage and things like that, but street oriented. You know, upright. It's upright like an adventure bike, but it's really street focused. The roads are really dirty today. That's not good. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up to one of my favorite roads, Highland Valley, and through the miracle of video editing, we're going to get there instantaneously. And we're back. We're here on Highland Valley Road. It will eventually be a little more interesting than open fields. That's pretty though. Anyways, we were talking about the Aprilia Caponord. Why are you wiggling? That's another thing. It's just a little thing, but it bothers me to no end. This constantly comes loose, my brake reservoir. I always have to tighten that down, like once a week. And another thing, your clutch fluid will always be dark. That literally was changed less than 1,000 miles ago, and it's very dark. So you have to change your clutch fluid pretty often. And oh man, please don't. Oh no, you're turning onto Highland. Darn it. That's gonna be an issue. So yeah, you'll have to change your clutch fluid a lot. I don't know why that is, why it gets so dirty so fast, but I've noticed it throughout all 9,000 of the miles that are on this bike that you have to do that. Thank God you're turning. Alright. So we're going to go through some mountain roads. Have some fun. I call it a mountain road. Really, it winds through a valley, and most of this is all residential, but gosh, it's one of my favorite places to ride. Hopefully it's not too dirty. It's been really rainy. Like the last couple of weeks have been crazy rainy in California, which I know I'm complaining about, like 3 days of rain where and it's winter, it's December, but you know, it's a thing, it rained, and a lot of times you get that dirt on the roads everywhere, so probably not going to be able to really burn through the canyon today. But it'll still be fun. I guess to wrap up talking about this bike, I really enjoy it. I would recommend it to people as a good commuting slash middle range touring bike. I wouldn't say long range, but I guess that's my long-term wrap-up. I do intend to do some aftermarket stuff soon, so I will be posting videos of the aftermarket add-ons and things, along with just random motovlog, bike life stuff. This road is tight. Yes, there is one more thing we can add to this video, and that's one last good send-off wheelie. Once I get through this part of the road. Dirt and sand, nice. I'm CP Rides, and I'll catch you on the next video.